Alright guys, so you decided to go with the S197 clock spring, and so now we have to swap our airbag clips. This is actually relatively easy, but there's some things you need to know. The first thing is, if you've tried to source these and it's become rather difficult, I believe it's because they actually can't sell these on the open market. I think they may actually have to sell them directly to manufacturers, and so that makes it difficult for people like us to get our hands on them. However, all I did here was I bought a simple aftermarket clock spring for the S550, and I think it was like 17 bucks. So it's a little expensive if you're only doing it to get these clips, but it was free shipping, and I'm actually probably going to use the ribbon cable for something. So for me, it's a win-win. But here we go. So we'll start with the S197 clock spring connector. Let's take a look at this. There's 1, 2, 3 clips that you need to take off. What I find the easiest is to take off the top one, because it'll pop off and it will stay off. Then you pop off one of the sides, and then you go to the other side, the last remaining side, and you just pop that off. Okay. Now inside, mine fell apart. Inside, if it didn't fall apart, what you would have is your 90-degree terminals here. Okay. They would be inside of here, like as such. And what you want to kind of pay attention to here is that inside this plastic housing, if you look closely, there is, and let me see if I get my tool here, right here there is a piece of plastic that separates the 2 pins, okay, going all the way up. Actually, they're terminals, but it separates them. Okay, that's really important because you do not want these to make contact. That would create a short, but, you know, just kind of take a look at that closely. You could see that piece of plastic runs the entire length of it and separates them. So all we got to do is just pull those out. Make sure you don't lose these sleeves. They may pull out along with them. What you could do is you could take this, if you're going to save this in case you ever want to swap it back, and you're just going to put this on here and set it off to the side. Maybe put it in a Ziploc bag and save it for another day. Now, the S550 is a slightly more complicated design, but not much. It's got this push tab, which if you've already removed it from the car, that tab will be popped out. Just like the S197, what I find easiest is you start with the top, because that clip, once you pop it off, it will usually stay off and won't pop back on, as you can see. This clip does not need to come out on its own. It's actually really difficult to take out by itself. So I would just ignore that for now. Move on to the 2 clips on the side. So similar to the S197, you're just going to pop them each off one at a time. So now they're off. And then we're going to move to this other side. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to pop those clips off one at a time. And by the time you get to the last one, the top should pop right off. Okay, we got one more, and so that top pops off. All right, so now we'll set that aside. Now, when I flip this over, you're going to see the design is a little bit different here. First, you have this black bar, this black sleeve rather, and then you have your terminals. Now, as I pull this out, just wiggle it and they'll slide right out. You don't want to damage them. The reason that black bar is there is because on this housing, there is no plastic separating the 2. So you want to make sure if you're going to use these, you do not lose this black bar. It doesn't clip open. It's a simple piece that kind of slides over the contacts. So what you would need to do is you're going to bend these terminals straight, just a little, not a lot, because if you notice, the metal in the middle here is very thin. If you keep bending these up and down, that metal is going to get really weak. And so you're not going to be able to use these if you ever need to use them again. So you can see I'm sliding it up the terminals, and I take it right off the end. Okay, so what I would do is I would set that aside, and then the same thing here on the S197. I'm going to bend these terminals up just a little. Okay, you can see maybe not even 45 degrees. It's just enough so that that sleeve can make it over the elbow here. So I'm going to take that sleeve, I'm going to slide these terminals right up inside. Now they are not making it through, which means I probably haven't bent them enough, so I'm going to give them a little bit more. Now I push it up and you can see, okay, now it's on. All right, so now I'm going to bend these back to 90 degrees. Okay, and now we'll just go back in the reverse direction inside the S550 airbag connector. So we'll get each one of these ones in here. Make sure that that can slide down, get my wires on each appropriate side. Okay, and then we'll just take our housing and we'll slide this guy right back in here. Now what I'm noticing is you may run into a little bit of a difficulty here. If you look closely, you'll notice these terminals are actually round on the top. Up here, they're just like round. These have like a flatness to them. Okay? The issue that's going to cause is that there is a, on this orange piece, if I hold it this way, you can see it, sort of. Right here, this piece needs to slide in between those terminals, and it's shaped kind of like a T. So it might be a little bit difficult to get that through there. So just, you know, take a look at it, see if you can work it apart, work those things apart. I'm going to see if I can put maybe a screwdriver here just to bend them out a little bit. Kind of force them so that this piece will fit right in there. Take this out and see how much missing by. What we can try is, I think these might be too big to give it a try, but let's see if we could just kind of bend them a little bit, just enough to give it some room so that that piece can make it past, so they're not fully flattened. And the sleeve makes things a little bit difficult just because it doesn't want to go down the wire. The wire's too thin. Yeah, see, so it looks like now it's a little more round. It doesn't have that flat look, and the sleeve will still go over it. So let me do the other one now. The other one needs a little bit of help as well. Just so you guys know, this is my first time doing this, so as I've said in many videos before, we're going to learn through this together. Okay, what I found is that, I'm not going to promise you guys this, but I feel like a little bit of a pop when I do that. And I wonder if that's the actual metal kind of going into that round shape. But let's give this another try here. So we're going to drop these two terminals in. as you do this, be very careful because it looks like I was trying to force this too many times and the terminal's bent outward. Okay, so now they're in. And now it looks like I have a little bit more room there for that piece to slide through. But let's see. Yep, so I felt it now. It slid in, the orange part. And if I push this all the way down, make sure all the clips on every side are fully engaged, because if they're not, you are kind of taking a risk with your airbags not being engaged and working. So just make sure you go around every side and make sure you got that all set. And that's it. So, you know, now you can see that my S197 clock spring has our S550 clip on it, so it should be able to plug right into the airbag. The only thing I will mention is double check, make sure you put them in the right spot. You know, stage 1 versus stage 2, it probably does matter. I don't know it that well. I honestly just chose to do this because I thought maybe the black and the black go together. On the S197, this clip is yellow and gray. On the S550, this is yellow and yellow. So do your diligence, double check your wiring, make sure you get them correct and you apply them to the correct side. All right, well, that's it, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.